Let's stand and we'll have the pledge and then a moment of silence. Mr. Williams, would you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, approval of agenda. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Okay, go. Do we have a second? Second. All right. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Okay. The agenda is approved. Under recognition, Mr. Dean, Robotic Drone League and Lee County Spelling Bee winners.
Madam Chair, members of the board, we've got with us tonight, and I'll ask them to come up, Miss Laura Roop and Miss Tanya Kennedy with the Robotic Drone League. I think we've had a lot of success with this program across, and I would ask them to mention that, and I think they have a number of trophies over. I don't know if all the students could make it, because I know when spring comes around, they're involved in a lot of stuff, but before they get started, I would like to say we greatly appreciate the work you all do with those students. I've got to go to one of the events a couple of times, and it's amazing what they can do, and we really do appreciate what you all do with those students.
We appreciate your all's support as well. We've got several teams now, and our program has grown over the last few years. We've had a little bit of change of mentorship this year, so I'm glad to have Laura with me. She's a really good helper and leader for these kids, and of course James Crowley, who couldn't be here tonight, but we've got a lot of help. Cindy's still in the background, help running a little bit of things, but we wanted to be here and introduce our new kids because we had a total of 5 teams this year that competed with our Robot Drone League, and we have all of those except for our little elementary students tonight. They couldn't come, but we do have everybody else, so we want to bring them in and introduce them. You just line up.
I can't believe they're shy.
Yeah, they're being shy tonight. They got quiet real fast.
They don't
Yep,
go
go to the front, go to the front with them. No, they don't stay this quiet, that's for sure. Y'all can make a second Robert. All right, let's start down there on the end with Wesley. Go ahead and introduce yourself and
Okay, I am Wesley Honeycutt. I'm in the 11th grade, and I've been doing RDL for 4 years, and that's pretty much all.
I'm Luke Young. I'm in the 8th grade, and I've been doing RDL for 4 years, and I'm the robot pilot.
I'm Atlee McAllister. This is my 2nd year. I am in the 9th grade.
I'm Levi Jones. I'm in the 6th grade. I am a robot pilot, and I'm captain of the team.
I'm Gavin Young. I'm from Pennington Middle. I'm in 5th grade, 10 years old. And I'm the engineer and the drone pilot.
I'm Janelle Manus, and I'm in 7th grade at Pennington Middle School, and I'm the head of documentation and the lab tech.
this is Jonah Warner. He's a little shy. It's his first year. He's from Pennington and also in the 5th grade. He was one of our lab techs for our gold team.
I am Noah Flannery. I've been doing RDL for 1 year. I am in 5th grade, and I am 11 years old. And I...
What'd you do for the team?
What's your job, Noah?
What was your job?
Lab tech, yeah. Lab tech and drone pilot.
My name is Billy Goforth, and this is my first year in robotics, and I go to Jonesville Middle School. I'm 11 years old, and I'm a drone pilot in the competition.
Hello, my name is Kai Britton. I'm 10 years old. I go to 5th grade in Jonesville Middle School. I went to RDL for 1 year. My jobs are safety management, help building the robot, and lab tech.
Hello, I am Brendan Britton. I am 13 years old, and I'm in 7th grade at Jonesville Middle School. I've been doing RDL for 2 years, and I was a captain of the team. I helped build the robot. I'm trying to think of it. I did the showcase, which won us an award, and I also piloted the robot.
Okay, so our red team went to a regional competition at the ETSU, the Highlands Regional, and they won the Showcase Award, which was a new award this year. They had to create a presentation of everything that they did from the build and the design and all of their group members and what their jobs were. Our gold team won a judge's award at the competitions, which is awarded only by the head judge, and this is an optional award that they get for just showing grit and tenacity when the score may not be in their favor. So while it wasn't really super successful, they were able to bring home a few awards. Yeah, so go ahead.
Our little cadets, not cadets, cyber cadets, they couldn't be here tonight. They are 3rd and 4th graders from Rose Hill, Elk Knob, and Flatwoods. And our team, we had 2 teams that participated at UVA at Wise. And Team 1, which was Jack Shell, Andrew Pace, and Kyle and Lane Wolver, they won 2 awards. They won the Champion Award and the Autonomous Award. And our other team, which was Luke Depp, say the other name.
Fiorella Flomberg from Rose Hill Elementary.
And Anna Taylor. They won the Judges Award, which, like she said, that's the top judge, and they look to see how they're working together, the teamwork. Did they react to the situation that did not go in their favor, and how that they got themselves out of that situation. So they got the Judges Award. And then when we went to our regionals, we only had 1 team to go, and that was Luke Delp, Fiorella Flomberg, Anna Taylor, and Jack Shell, and they won the Rookie Award there at ETSU. So it's my first year, so I've been learning with the kids.
There's a lot to learn every
year. A lot to learn. So these kids, they work very hard, and it's all about teamwork and thinking outside of the box.
Just to give you kind of overview of what the competition is actually about. This year's theme for our middle school and high school teams was called Scarecrow, and it was an agricultural theme where they had to move a little tractor to access a cornfield and then collect ears of corn and bring it back. And then our lab tech, some of the students who said they were lab techs, what they were doing was actually peeling back the corn and finding fungus by the color codes, and then they identified the fungus that was invading that cornfield, and then they would take a little petri dish with that fungus and drop it into a little machine, and it would give them a genetically engineered seed, and they would carry the seed over and get it planted. So basically it was just taking the idea that we have natural disasters within fungus invading cornfields, and then a way to find a seed that can actually withstand these fungi and grow without it. And so there were other things like repairing a water line by putting in a new piece of pipe, and then they had to reconnect the power to a power line. Our drones, people had to fly over to Scarecrow and then read STEM questions off a TV screen, and they had to answer those to score points. So there's a lot of different aspects and a lot of things going on all at one time to score these points. They also worked this year with Alliance team, so they worked with another team to help complete the task on their side of the field, which was a new challenge this year, because not only were you working with your team, but you were working with a whole other stranger team that you'd never met before. So that was a challenge in itself, just being able to communicate and learn those skills that, hey, you have to go up talk to somebody you don't know and introduce them and say, these are things we can do, what can you do? Do you all want to add anything about your competition? No? All good? You want to talk about your?
The Cyber Cadets, our theme was a 3-ring circus, and our students had to learn how to code. They had to learn how to code drones, and they had to learn how to code RVRs, and which RVR is a rover. So the first month or so, that's what we concentrated on, was teaching coding, 2 different programs. and the kids, they took right up with it and they flourished. Then we had to teach them how to maneuver their RVRs and their drones through obstacles. We had three, with the drones, they had to go through 3 circles, and then they had to hover over a beacon in order to see their STEAM question, which was transmitted to their home base. And one of the team members had to answer STEM questions there, and it would get them points. And the rovers, they would go and they would go over rough terrain. There was a bridge that had rocks on it. They had to go steal pucks and then bring it back to home base. So whoever had the most pucks would get the points for that. So it was all about teamwork. And all of this was going on at the same time. The kids with the drones, the kids with the RVRs, the kids answering the STEAM questions. So
we also they have autonomous mode where they code even with these teams here, where they will complete a task autonomously for a certain amount of points and for like a minute at the beginning of their time. And then the remaining 9 minutes of their competition is spent in teleop, where it's manual operation of it. So there's a lot of things that go into it and a lot of things going on all at once. It's hard to keep your mind on the task you're doing when there's more than one robot out there, more than one drone flying around. So we're very proud of these kids, but we do have some trophies for them to, you know, recognize them for their success this year. And we do appreciate our program growing to what it is. I mean, we still have 7 other kids and a few others that didn't show up on these 2.
Ms. Kennedy, Ms. Ruth, I didn't keep count, but how many different schools are involved in this?
With my cadets, we have right now Rose Hill, Flatwoods, and Elk Knob, but it's open to any child
and we
in
have
3rd and 4th grade.
We have both Pennington and Jonesville represented, as well as Lehigh right now.
I think it's just important to realize, you know, the entire county coming together, and I want to thank the parents too, because when you get those kids from different schools, I know they have to, most of these kids can't drive. I mean, maybe a couple that could, but they have to have some help getting to those events and practices.
One kid that drives. Legally. Okay.
We'll start out with their middle school, I guess.
Okay. Jacob Elkins could not be here tonight, and Ellis Shell could not. Wesley Honeycutt.
Congratulations, Wesley.
Atlee McAllister. Stephen could not be here tonight, could he?
No, Stephen.
Luke Young. Levi Jones. Jonah Warner. Gavin Young. Noah Flannery. Janelle Manus. Brenton Britton. Bentley Goforth. Daniel Nisley could not be here tonight. Kai Britton. Kyle Wooliver and Andrew Pace could not be here. Jackson Shell could not. Fiorella Blumberg, Luke Delp, Anna Taylor, and Lane Wooliver.
So you guys can see how many are not here tonight and how big our robotics program actually is this year. It's took a troop for sure to keep up with these kids. But we do appreciate your all's support, the parents' support.
And the community.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We're proud of you. Recruit a few more girls.
We have some that was absent today. Thank you all.
Thank
so
you.
We appreciate you stepping up into the position.
When they asked me, I told them I had to think about it and had to go home and pray about it.
That's
So,
right, that's good.
It's all about the kids.
That's right, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, also we'd like to recognize the spelling bee that took place on March the 5th. I'll ask Ms. Willis if she'll come up. I think we have, we invited the first, second, and third place. I think I was unable to attend because of a conflict, but I think we had an interesting night. I think the challenge judge had to get involved, and we had some more involvement than sometimes happens. Sometimes the challenge judge doesn't get involved. I think it was this time, but I'll ask Ms. Willis to talk about it, and I'd also like to thank her and all the members that were involved. I know I'd forget somebody if I tried to list everyone, but I know she and Diane.
It's a full team.
Does a lot of work, and proud of them and what they did.
Well, as Mr. Dean has said, it was a very exciting spelling bee for anybody that was there. It was really fun to watch. We, of course, had a representative from all of our schools because students from 4th to 8th grade can participate. So every school was represented. We had 10 students who were in the bee. We went 5 rounds before anybody even missed a word. And that was amazing because sometimes just nerves, you know, a student will miss a word early on just because of nerves. So that in and of itself was just wonderful to watch. We ended up going a total of 25 rounds before we were able to come up with a winner for this annual spelling bee. And just so happens that the young lady had also been the winner last year. So she's a repeat winner for her school. In addition to the trophies that we provide for the students, we have a traveling trophy. So the school whose student is the winner, they get to keep that traveling trophy at their school for the whole year. So Elydale has had it for 2 years now. So at this time, I'd like to recognize Bethany Singleton. She was the winner of the spelling bee, and as I say, for the 2nd year in a row, and she's from Elydale Middle School. And Kylie Brooking from Lee High School was the 2nd place winner. And these 2 ladies battled back and forth for several rounds, and it was very, very exciting to watch them and their poise and their confidence while they were spelling. It was very obvious the time and effort that they had put into to prepare for it. So congratulations, Kylie. And our 3rd place winner was Courtney Art from Pennington Middle School. I didn't think I had seen Courtney in the audience, but again, it was a great bee. You ladies did a fabulous job, and we certainly appreciate your participation, and just wanted to recognize you again here tonight.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Kind of the opposite of the robotics. I think the boys need to step up and spell it.
Okay, next up is public comment. Make sure if anyone wants to speak that you do not mention a name unless you are introducing someone. Is there any public comment? Okay, any board comments?
I would like to recognize a former teacher that passed away not long ago, Carlene Sanders. Very close friend of Vera and myself, and she was an educator for 30 years, and she passed away just not long ago. And she put a lot of work into coaching as well, along with teaching. So I wanted to mention her.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, under the consent agenda, A, approval of minutes from the February 9th, 2024 budget meeting and regular meeting and February 23rd, 2024 budget meeting. B, approval of claims and expenditures. C, approval of VSBA updates for school board policy. D, approval of field trip, Thomas Walker High School, Michelle Carter, Universal Studios, senior trip, Lee County Career and Technical Center, Michael Depp, Kentucky Welding Institute, Lee County Career and Technical Center, Chad Bishop, Skills USA, Virginia Beach, Lee County Career and Technical Center, Cindy Garrett, DECA DECA, ICDC competition. E, approval of update for LCSBP DJA-ER procurement. F, Head Start under enrollment plan. G, Head Start transportation waiver. H, approval of disposal of surplus property from school board policy. DN, disposal of surplus items. I, approval of authorization for the division superintendent to fill vacancies existing on or occurring between March the 15th, 2024 through April the 11th, 2024. Do I hear a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion passes. Reports of the board. Any reports? Okay, reports of the division superintendent. Mr. Dean.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, Kingsport Times News right on. There's representatives from all three middle schools, Elydale, Jonesville, and Pennington. I would highly encourage you to look at those. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but a couple of the topics that our students wrote about was if there was a magic portal in the back of your closet, where would it lead? Write about a musician or a band that you would like to see in concert. If the internet crashed forever, what would be the benefits and drawbacks? And what would family or friends say is your most lovable quality? So there's some interesting responses in there. I would encourage you to read those. I know the other day, I think when some AT&T phones went down, it was like the world shut down. So encourage you to read those, and proud of those students to put that out there in the paper. Enrollment, we are currently at 2806. Last month we were at 2812. We're down 6, but we built the budget on 2710, so we're still in good shape there. That final funding will go through the March 31st enrollment, so we're looking good there. Copy of operations update is in your folder. If you've got any questions on that, I will answer it. Also a copy of the transportation update. Mr. Sterling will correct me if I'm wrong, but I was going to mention this at this time. I know we had a bus wreck not too long ago, and to go along with the transportation, with the board's blessing, I guess, I'm just going to go talk to the Board of Supervisors. I've already spoken to the sheriff. Virginia Code allows speed cameras to be placed in school zones that will only take pictures and send tickets during the time that the flashing lights are going on during the school zone. The locality has to approve it, and typically what I have read that localities have done, they've contracted with companies who have put the speed cameras up. They send out the tickets, the company gets part of the proceeds, locality gets part of it. But for the safety of our students, I would like to go talk to the Board of Supervisors. The sheriff said he was in support of it. I don't think we would need that everywhere. Elydale is one that comes to mind because you're on that 4-lane. Lehigh is another place that we have a lot of traffic. Elk Knob, we've had a couple of accidents over there over the years. You know, I talked to the sheriff, and he said that, you know, he would like to look at it and see if it's something we should do, but with the board's blessing, I plan on going and talking to the Board of Supervisors and asking if that's something that they might move forward with, and, you know, see if that's something we could do. We would not be involved that much. The way it works is they put cameras up. One camera, I think, is pointed toward the flashing lights to ensure that they were actually flashing at the time that the speeder goes through. They only give a ticket, I think, the way I read it is if you're going 10 miles an hour faster than the posted school zone. So just something I saw, and y'all's blessing, I'd like to go talk to the Board of Supervisors. I don't think that takes action, does it, Mr.
It does not take action.
Is that just when the lights are flashing?
Just in the morning and afternoon when the lights are flashing.
I'm good. Tim, are you good with that?
Yeah, I'm all
Nancy,
good.
good? Gary, are you good?
I'm against those cameras, just personal and legal reasons.
I understand.
Well, when you said 10 miles above, I thought that gives a little leeway.
My office is right by a school, so I don't have any license.
Okay.
Also in your package, you've got this month's Head Start report. Look over it. I think it talks about the attendance, nutrition, and enrollment and Head Start. If you've got any questions on that, I would be more than glad to answer those on Ms. Baker's behalf. Update on the Virginia Literacy Act. This was passed by the General Assembly in 2022. Ms. Willis and I and a team just came back from a meeting up at the Higher Ed Center in Abingdon. This is just a lot of focus on reading and the importance of reading, because reading impacts everything and all subjects, and making sure that everybody is concise and on the same page. We're going to be getting new reading series. So I just wanted to put that to your attention. In your packet, I think you've got a little one-page kind of synopsis on that. And one of the interesting things that it talks about that is if a student is not proficient in reading by the end of grade 3, they are 4 times more likely to drop out of school. So, and the pandemic hurt all students. So, you know, I just wanted you all to be aware that we're working on this. It's going to involve the reading specialist a lot. I think you had, how many teachers did you have here the other day getting trained on letters?
42 of 44 that are in the cohort.
So they had a training all day on the letters program, and you might be hearing a lot about this. I just kind of wanted to give you an update on it. Ms. Willis, would you like to add anything to that?
I think the only thing I'd like to clarify, the core curriculum will be K-5. That's what, and the state put out a list of materials that have been approved. We are in the process of reviewing those. We've narrowed it down to 3. We've got 2 companies coming in to do presentations in the next couple of weeks, and got those K-5 teachers coming for that, and reading specialists. As a division, we will have to write a literacy plan, and that was part of the training that we went to last week in Abingdon. But it's a team plan that will pretty much lay out how we are going to support and value literacy in our division across the board. So the letters training, it's specialized, and it's more geared for teachers at the elementary school who teach beginning reading, you know, because if we don't get them off to a good start, and if we're not being consistent in the strategies that we use, and if our teachers don't understand why we need to make some changes. So, you know, we've got a lot going on. In addition to that, there's some other online professional development that the teachers at the elementary schools have gone through, because the letters, we can only put 40 in a cohort. They gave us 44, you know, to get started with that. But that's another piece of this act, is that all teachers have to be trained. So we wanted to kind of get a head start and get some, especially those teachers that are in the trenches working with kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd graders, so that we're not like a year behind on that.
Does this come with funding?
There was some funding in the all-in tutoring.
Correct, that we're going to use to pay for the curriculum. And I think they're going to build some money into the budget with the reading specialist and things like that.
Okay, because that sounds good. I have had some complaints about children that grade level are really having a hard time with reading and writing. So
and it's
I think we'll see improvement. I don't think it's going to be immediate, but I do think once we start, you know, implementing some of the strategies, and there's it's very data-based. There's going to be a lot of progress monitoring that we'll be doing with the students. Some of you who have either had children in school or taught at the elementary level are familiar with the PALS test. We've been giving that for years. It's a screener that we give to kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade. The Department of Education has revised that screener, so we'll be giving a new screener next year. The acronym for that is VALS, V-A-L-L-S, instead of PALS, but that screener will give us some indications of students who are at high risk. We will work, then we'll know which ones to focus on in the classrooms, and for our reading specialists to work with them as well. So, you know, I think that it's a great thing that we're doing this as a state, actually, and I think Virginia is kind of, you know, at the forefront of this and recognizing literacy is an issue and we need to do some things better so that we can fix it.
It's statewide. The meeting we went to, every division in Region 7 had a team there, somewhere between 6 and 8, and we were there with everyone, and they're doing that across the state. I think there's 4 sets of those meetings. And you know, we took a team, Ms. Willis, Ms. Belcher and I from the central office, and then we had a high school representative, we had a middle school representative, we had an elementary representative, we had a special ed representative, Ms. Collier went also, and then we had a reading specialist that went with us, so we could all make sure we were hearing the same thing and brought it back to the county. So I just wanted to give you all an update on that. Legislative update, in your packet, you've got a copy. Some bills were sent to the governor before the General Assembly adjourned, and he has taken action on those bills. It's in your packet. He signed a number of bills, he vetoed a number of bills, and he amended a number of bills. I'm not going to go through all of those, but those are in your packets. If you've got any questions on those, I just want to give you that because he already has taken action on those. I did get an email right before the board meeting started that I did not get a chance to print off. I think he took action on 60 or 80 more bills today. I have not had a chance to see what impact those would have on education. The General Assembly did send the governor a budget, and I think he's going to probably amend it, I suspect, but that's not been approved yet, so I just wanted to give you kind of an update on the legislative aspect on that. Also would like to recognize March the 3rd through the 9th, we had National School Social Worker Week. March the 1st was Maintenance Worker Week. We've got a number of maintenance workers and appreciate the work they do. March the 4th through the 8th was National School Breakfast Week, and the entire month of March is Women's History Month. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention as well, Madam Chair.
Okay. Action discussion items. A, action beginning to solicit bids for the lease and service of copier and facsimile equipment.
Madam Chair, we're at the end of our lease with the copiers that we have here at Central Office and that are stationed at all of the schools. We're asking that we be allowed to bid that out and see what options we've got. There's a number of companies that lease copiers and see what's out there and bring you back a proposal and see what we can do, because I know the copiers are used a lot and faxes aren't used near as much as they used to be, but the copiers are. We still have a few faxes that come through, but just asking your all's permission to solicit bids for that.
So does that need to be in the form of a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion passes. Action, if any, to revise 2023-2024 school calendar. Early dismissal on April the 8th, 2024.
Madam Chair, there's a solar eclipse that's going to take place on April the 8th. We've looked and it says that like the eclipse would start around 1:30. We're not in the area that's going to have a total eclipse. It looked like ours would be somewhere between 85-93% totality, but the issue is that when it's going to be at its max, it's going to be right in the middle of dismissal between 3 and 3:15. It'll be over approximately 4:30. I talked to the principals and asked their opinion. Most of them says if we have the hours, they think it might be better if we dismiss. It is a learning opportunity, but it's also you're going to be trying to dismiss in the middle of an eclipse. My recommendation would probably be to dismiss at 12:05. If you all want to, we can go regular schedule. We can order solar glasses. It is a little bit of a challenge when you're dealing with some of the smaller students to keep those on and not to look up at the sun. Ms. Combs and I were talking when we were in school, I think Mr. Hines, we had in clips, we made some stuff and we used it as a learning experiment, but I did, at the recommendation of the principals, I'd say that we've got the hours dismissed at 12:05 on April the 8th. It would cost about $3,000 to $4,000 if you all wanted to buy glasses for all the students.
Is there, do you think it would be appropriate for teachers to advise the students not to try to look at it? Or do you think that would make them more curious?
They're kids.
But you know, I worry about the fact that some of them are going to go home with no one if they start, you know.
So would it be feasible if, you know, I know that we wouldn't be in session, but it's still Lee County kids. Could we still purchase those glasses as a safety precaution for our kids? I mean, it would be no different than us purchasing masks during COVID.
I mean, we could definitely buy them and send them home with the students.
I'm just throwing that out there as, you know, I'm good with the early dismissal.
I think we've got a couple of administrators sitting back there in the back, a high school and a middle school administrator. You know, sometimes you're better off with the older students. Sometimes they'll listen. Sometimes they do about the opposite of what you tell them to do. I don't think we have an elementary principal here, but you know, we do have students that I think are from age 3 to 22. So, I mean, we've got a wide array of students there. So, I mean,
But I had thought of that too, Tim.
Or maybe, you know, middle school, you could, in high school age, you could say, hey, don't look at this. And you have a little bit better chance, I would think. And then I think about my own child, and maybe not. But, you know, maybe it's a learning experience the day before, morning of, or something. Hey, this can really do permanent damage. And then just purchase for elementary age kids. That would cut your costs drastically.
If I was gonna buy my bike for everybody, because I mean, I don't have kids, I know how I was. You tell me no, all right? That's all I can say.
Well, we made ours out of cardboard and foil.
yeah. I guess what Ms. Combs and I was talking about the other day.
Yeah, but if you have them to give to them, then it looks like that would help with any liability.
Let me make a motion to actually do that first, without closing school at half a day.
Okay.
So that's passed, right? Correct. So I move that we revise the 2023-2024 school calendar to set an early dismissal on April 8th, 2024 at 12:05 p.m.
Yes, sir.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now, we'd have to amend the agenda to, or
I think I can do that administratively.
okay.
You can.
I think
Okay.
figure it out.
And it's appropriate discussion too under this agenda item, so I think it's fine.
Okay. Is everybody okay with giving him
Yeah,
permission?
absolutely.
Okay. All right, thank you. No unfinished business. We're now ready for closed session. Mr. Hines, would you read us the code?
I would note, even though the agenda under C has student discipline, there is no student discipline, right?
Correct.
So
That parent cannot be here because of an illness.
Okay, so I move that we go into closed session to discuss personnel under Code of Virginia, Section 2.2-3711A1, discussion of possible acquisition of a parcel of land under Code of Virginia, Section 2.1-344A, subsection 3, and threatened and pending litigation under Code of Virginia, Section 2.2-3711A7.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now in closed session.